She's not a grouchy old lady. My grandmother is and always will be the most adventurous woman I've ever met. We're always having an amazing time with her, whether it's on one of her crazy adventures or it's in the comforts of her own home. Growing up at her house gave us the best memories, and we always continue to make more every time we go. To start off, I'm going to talk about everything involving the front of the house, starting off with the road. My cousin Mason, whenever he would babysit us, we would always go out to the middle of the road, and we would take these giant 2 liters of soda, and he would shake them up, and we'd throw them, and we would duck for cover, and we would just watch them all explode for hours until we would have to pick every single bottle at the end of the day. Closer to the house, there's this sidewalk, which my grandma had these beautiful rose bushes that are right on the front of her lawn, and no matter what you would do, riding your bike back and forth, no matter, even if you swerved out of the way, you would always end up falling into the rose bushes. And I just thought it was so ironic that we would always try and avoid them, but we would always end up in them. Down her long stone driveway, you come across her front lawn. In this very front lawn is where we would do Easter egg hunts every year. We would have thousands of eggs hidden, whether it was on top of cars or in the little wishing well that she has in her front lawn. And we would always be able to get thousands of eggs put out there because all of us would incorporate our own eggs and put them into her yard, and we would be able to have hundreds of eggs for each person at the end of the day. Next, I'm going to talk about the actual house. So when you walk forward from the front lawn, you come across the fresh painted house, and you walk through the front door and there's a playroom to the right where we would have the biggest, fluffiest Christmas tree every single year. Out of the playroom, you would walk to the living room where we would have an 8-foot-high pile of presents, and we would have to sit on the old, very uncomfortable brown couch and just wait for so long. It felt like we were waiting forever until we could just even open the first present. Next, you would walk into the dining room where you would come across this small wooden table, and this is where we learned to read, where we learned to write, where my grandma pretty much taught us to do everything, and especially she taught us how to gamble at this table. And it sounds really weird, like your grandmother's teaching you how to gamble when you're a little kid, but we always had the best time playing with fake money or the poker chips or whatever we would play with. Walking out of the dining room, through the kitchen, and down the back steps, you'll come across the backyard. In this backyard is where we would play hide and seek for hours. And in the very back of the yard, you would come across this tire swing that's very, very old, but we would always fight over who got to sit on the tire swing first and who got to swing on it. But once it was your turn to swing on the tire swing, you felt like you were flying as high as the clouds. At night, we would wait very quietly, silently, just for the first light of a firefly, and then we would chase one after one, racing to catch as many as we could. Going to my grandmother's house always gave us the best memories, and we continue to make some every time we go. I know I talked about the hide and seek, the tire swing, I talked about the fireflies, the Christmas tree, the gambling table, the 7-foot-high pile of presents, the rose bushes, the soda bottle launching in the road, and then the Easter egg hunts in the front lawn. No matter how many people run through that house, how many bumps and scrapes they make in those walls, nothing will change the memories that we make on that one stop sign.